Today we're going to talk about, my group is going to talk about the importance of introductions and giving a presentation. You're going to hear an analogy to movie trailers. So I'm going to turn it over to Christina, and she's going to talk a little bit about some of the importance of elements of introductions. Christina?
So first, it's very important to gain the attention and interest of your audience. One way you can do this is by relating your topic to your audience. You can do this by, prior to giving your speech, finding out demographics and psychographics of who's going to be attending. By doing so, you can find out what type of language to use, also what topics to address. Next, you should always ask your audience rhetorical questions. By doing so, you are creating your audience to be active participants and also gaining their interest so that they will become more active and think about your arguments and points of views. And also it's important to put them in your perspective. You can do this by telling stories and giving personal examples. Like a movie trailer, it's always important to gain the attention and interest of your audience. By doing so, by gaining attention and interest, like a movie trailer, it keeps the audience interested and will make them want to continue seeing, and also paying attention throughout the speech. Next is going to be Matt, and he will be talking about the importance of the topic.
So, talking about saying the importance of the topic, this is important because when you try and tell your audience why the topic is important, you want to kind of draw them in. And that's kind of like when you're watching a movie trailer. The movie trailer hooks you in with what the topic of the movie will be. Next, you want to show why the topic is important to you. And doing this, you want to clearly state your points. And if you in an analogy to a movie trailer, in a very good movie trailer, the points are made very clear so that you get drawn into the movie and want to see it. And in comparison to a speech, when the points are stated in ways that you can understand them, the audience will be drawn in and be interested in the topic. If the topic is uninteresting to the audience, they'll lose interest. Next, you want to provide striking information and startle the audience. And this is basically whenever you want to discuss a topic that is very important to you, and it might not be clear to the audience, you should think about ways to demonstrate significance in the introduction. And using the movie trailer analogy, most movie trailers have a few striking scenes that make you feel like you want to see the movie. And now to discuss arousing curiosity of the audience and question the audience is Aruna.
Hey guys, I'm sure you all know you don't want an audience that's not interested in what you're talking about. With that being said, you do want to arouse their curiosity in what you're talking about. If you have an audience and you're talking about scary movies, that's what you're basing your presentation about, you won't go in there and base an analogy on a comedy. Okay, you want to stay close to your topic. If you're talking about scary movies, you talk about scary movies. You want to add humor to anything you're presenting, so, or at least a little bit of humor. Humor draws your audience in. It makes them feel like they're a part of it. Humor, when it comes to presenting, it also makes the presenter lighten up. Like, put yourself into the audience's perspective. You don't want a serious speaker in front of you, especially when you're sitting there for hours listening to somebody present over and over again, or it can become boring. To add something and arouse their curiosity, you definitely want to add a little bit of humor in there. You can also use interesting facts pertaining to what you're talking about. Like I said, if you're talking about scary movies, you talk about what's scary about it, what parts of the movie drew you in, what makes that movie interesting to you. Arouse your audience's curiosity by saying that. Next, another good thing is to question the audience. You always want to ask keep your audience involved. With that being said, you can ask them a rhetorical question. That's a great way to always keep your audience involved. Ask them something they already know the answer to, so that way they're not feeling pressured if you point them out. They're not feeling pressured as to they're on the spot. I don't know what to say. It's a rhetorical question. The answer's already there for them. It's an easy way to involve your audience into what you're doing. Asking single or multiple questions, or pose a series of questions. There's different ways in getting your audience involved. You don't want to sit there and ask one person a series of questions and have him do that. Look around the room, see who's nodding, just who's nodding. You get that feeling when somebody's just there and they're nodding, when they're not involved. You know what I mean? Try to get them involved. Try to be like, hey, so about that movie, what was your favorite part? You know what I mean? And then that way, it's simple questions. They respond in a simple way. And that's how you keep your audience involved. Keep them questioning, keep them, always arousing their curiosity. And now I'm going to put it back to Matt Fisher, who's going to be explaining how to tell a story.
Thank you, Aruna. So getting back to the importance of introductions and giving a presentation, obviously it's your first opportunity to really grab the attention of your audience. And if it's a topic that they're not going to be interested in to begin with, it's your job to make it interesting. So how do you do that? You tell a story. We all have stories to tell. Our lives are stories. So when you're telling a story, you want to add drama and suspense. Nobody wants to listen to a story, including a presentation, that has no drama or suspense incorporated into it. It's going to kind of just drag it out, and it's not going to draw the interest of the audience into what you're presenting to them. You want to consider other stories being told. Consider other stories that relate to the presentation itself, maybe some previous experiences that people can relate to. That's certainly important. You want to follow a pattern. As a presenter, and your audience wants to understand and wants to know that when you're giving a presentation, there's a beginning part, there's a middle part, and an ending component. You don't want it to sound as if you're just elaborating on and on and on again with no pattern or to what you're talking about. And certainly you want to elaborate on details and facts. Elaborating on details and facts is key to the presentation, in that it brings your audience in, it maintains their interest, and it also adds details and facts back to the story that you're telling. So what we want to leave you with today is why an introduction is important in giving a presentation. It's your only opportunity, really, to grab your audience, get their attention, and maintain their attention throughout. It's much like, going back to the analogy of a movie trailer, the movie trailer pulls you in, it garners your attention, and it pushes you or makes you want to drive to the movie theater to see the film. And that is the importance of, much like a movie trailer, giving the introduction of a presentation. Thank you very much.